The Galactic Council chamber floated silently in the void of space, a massive structure of glowing metal and crystal, orbiting a distant star. Hundreds of alien delegates from countless worlds sat in their seats, each species unique in shape, color, and size. The council had met to discuss trade, war, and diplomacy, but today they awaited a visitor unlike any before. Earth had sent its first envoy. The council expected nervous humans, diplomats who would plead, negotiate, or beg for favor. They expected fear. They did not expect audacity. The doors of the chamber opened with a quiet hum. A single human walked in, tall and confident, wearing a sleek, armored uniform with Earth's emblem glowing on the chest. Heads turned. Aliens whispered among themselves. Even the most confident delegates paused. The human envoy's calm, commanding presence filled the room. Commander Elena Cross, the human envoy, walked steadily down the central aisle. Her boots made no sound, yet every step seemed to echo in the hearts of the aliens. She reached the podium at the center of the chamber and paused, scanning the crowd. Every pair of alien eyes was on her. Murmurs turned to gasps. No human had ever dared to enter this chamber alone, and yet here she was, not trembling, not apologetic, not fearful. Honored members of the Galactic Council, she began, her voice clear and steady, resonating through the chamber. I come on behalf of Earth, the planet you have watched from afar. We have listened to your debates, your judgments, and your decisions. And we have learned one thing: your council assumes we are weak. That assumption is incorrect. The room fell into stunned silence. Counselors exchanged hurried glances. Some leaned forward, trying to process her words. Others bristled in anger. None had expected a human to speak with such authority. Cross continued, her gaze unwavering. Earth will no longer negotiate with empty promises, vague warnings, or threats disguised as diplomacy. We are here to declare one truth: humanity protects itself. We will act to ensure our survival, and any species or council that threatens our home will face consequences they cannot imagine. A murmur ran through the chamber. One alien delegate slammed a clawed hand on the table. Is this a threat? He hissed, his voice trembling. It is not a threat, Cross said calmly, tilting her head slightly. It is a statement of fact. Humans survive. Humans dominate. And humans will not bow to fear, intimidation, or ancient authority. The council was stunned. Shock spread like wildfire. Some aliens paled in color. Others recoiled in disbelief. They had dealt with countless species, conquered, negotiated, and dominated many. But these humans did not react with fear. They commanded attention and respect simply by standing in the room. A younger counselor whispered to his neighbor, voice shaking. Do they realize what they are saying? Are they insane? The older one shook his head. No, they are not insane. They are dangerous. Cross took a step closer to the holographic display at the podium. Images of Earth's orbital defense stations, warships, and advanced satellites appeared. They shimmered in blue and white light, showing the council what humans had built. You see, she said softly, we are ready. Not for talk, not for threats, but for action. Any attempt to challenge Earth will be met with precision and authority. Any aggression will fail. The chamber was silent. Even the council's president, a towering alien with 6 eyes and silver scales, looked visibly shaken. He cleared his throat, trying to regain control. You dare declare war? He asked, though his voice betrayed fear. Cross did not flinch. I dare to speak the truth. We are no longer a species to be underestimated. We do not negotiate weakness. We declare our will. And we will act if necessary to defend our planet. The words hung in the air like a physical force. Alien delegates whispered urgently, exchanging worried glances. Some were angry. Some were fearful. The chamber, normally a place of order and control, was now filled with tension, doubt, and disbelief. Even outside the chamber, holographic feeds of the council's reaction were being transmitted across the galaxy. Reports would soon spread. Humanity had entered the council alone, and they had declared war, not with weapons fired but with unshakable authority. Cross straightened, letting her calm presence settle over the room. She did not raise a weapon. She did not shout. She simply stood tall, letting the silence speak for her. Every alien in the chamber felt it. Humans were different. Humans were dangerous. Humans did not bow. And in that moment, the galaxy began to realize one terrifying truth. The humans of Earth were not a species to negotiate with, to threaten, or to underestimate. They were a species to respect, or fear. The envoy had entered the chamber to speak on behalf of humanity. And in doing so she had shocked the galaxy. The chamber was filled with a tense silence. Alien delegates stared at the human envoy, their glowing eyes wide with shock. Some shifted uncomfortably in their seats, others whispered urgently to neighbors, trying to comprehend what they had just heard. Commander Elena Cross remained calm. She did not flinch. Her eyes scanned the room, noting every reaction, every subtle sign of fear or confusion. Humans did not panic. Humans did not hesitate. They commanded respect simply by standing firm. The council president, a massive alien with 6 glimmering eyes and silver scales, leaned forward. "You speak boldly, human," he said, his voice carrying a mixture of disbelief and caution. "Do you understand the weight of your words? War against the Galactic Council is not a decision to take lightly." Cross nodded slowly. "We understand. That is why we are here, not to negotiate weakness but to declare reality. Humanity will protect itself. Any species or council that threatens Earth will face consequences. We do not bluff. We do not beg. We act." A murmur ran through the chamber. Aliens who had fought countless wars now looked unsure. They realized humans were not like any species they had encountered. Humans did not react to intimidation, they projected strength through calm authority. A young alien diplomat whispered to his colleague, voice trembling, "Do they know what they are doing? How can they declare war on the council and stand so confident?" His neighbor shook his head. "I do not think it is confidence. I think it is control. Pure control. Humans do not fear. They dominate by presence." Outside the chamber, council observers sent encrypted messages to allied worlds. Reports of the human envoy's words spread quickly. Some species laughed nervously, thinking it a bluff. Others grew silent, suddenly aware that they might have misjudged humanity entirely. Inside the chamber, the president tried to regain composure. "You underestimate the consequences, human. The council commands the galaxy's resources, fleets, and armies. Any act of aggression, or war, against us will bring unimaginable retaliation." Cross's expression did not change. "We do not underestimate. We calculate. We prepare. And we act when necessary. You may have fleets, armies, and resources, but you do not have our resolve. You do not understand what it means to defend one's home. You do not understand humanity." The room fell into stunned silence. Some delegates whispered fears they had never spoken aloud. Others looked at one another, eyes wide with worry. Even the council president's massive shoulders trembled slightly. Humans were not ordinary, they were something entirely different. Cross continued, projecting a holographic display above the podium. Images of Earth's orbital defenses, warships, satellites, and energy shields appeared. They glimmered with quiet power, each piece a symbol of human preparation, strategy, and lethal potential. "Do you see this?" Cross asked. "This is not a threat. It is a fact. Earth is ready. Earth is protected. And any act against us will be met with precise response. Swift, calculated, and unstoppable. This is not negotiation. This is reality." The council delegates recoiled, muttering among themselves. For the first time they realized humans did not act out of emotion, fear, or desire for conquest. They acted out of calculated authority and survival instinct. A younger alien diplomat leaned toward the older one and whispered, They do not threaten. Yet I feel trapped, observed, controlled. How can this be?" The older alien shook his head. "It is their calm. It is their presence. Humans survive by dominating the situation without firing a shot. We are seeing a force we cannot challenge lightly." Outside the chamber, reports of the event traveled across the galaxy. Planets with powerful fleets paused, considering the consequences. Diplomats whispered warnings. Trade routes slowed. War councils convened. News of Earth's resolve was spreading like wildfire. Humans had declared war without aggression, and the galaxy listened. Back inside, Cross lowered her gaze briefly, scanning the room one last time. "Understand this," she said softly, yet her words echoed through the chamber. "Humanity will not be ignored. Humanity will not be underestimated. And any threat to our planet will meet with the full force of our preparation, intelligence, and resolve." The council president inhaled sharply, realizing the weight of the human envoy's declaration. Even the most powerful fleets in the galaxy might falter against a species so determined, so unwavering, and so disciplined. The alien delegates, once confident and proud, now whispered anxiously. They had misjudged humanity. They had expected fear, hesitation, or submission, but found only calm, authority, and audacity. And for the first time the council understood, humans were not a species to bargain with. They were a force to respect, or fear. As Cross exited the podium and left the chamber, the air felt heavier. Every alien delegate knew the galaxy had changed. Humanity had arrived, bold and unyielding, and the Council, and every species watching, would never forget this day. The Envoy had declared war. Not through weapons, not through aggression, but through pure human authority. And the galaxy had just realized that Earth was not to be challenged. The Galactic Council chamber was in chaos. Alien delegates whispered urgently, their voices trembling with fear and disbelief. The human envoy, Commander Elena Cross, had declared war, not with weapons but with words and presence. And now the Council was scrambling to understand what had just happened. Is this real? Hissed a reptilian delegate, his scales shifting nervously. Does she truly mean it? Humans cannot challenge the Council. They can, another whispered, a small feathered alien shaking in its seat. Look at the way she stands. Not afraid. Not apologetic. She's calm. Too calm. That is dangerous. Cross stood at the podium watching the murmurs spread. She did not raise her voice or show anger. Her calm demeanor was deliberate. Humans did not need to shout to be heard. Humans did not need weapons to command respect. The Council President, a massive, six-eyed alien named Varric, slammed his clawed hands on the central console. Enough. Human, your words are reckless. Do you know what you are saying? You dare declare war against the entire Council? Cross tilted her head, her eyes steady. I understand perfectly. And so should you. This is not reckless. It is necessary. Humanity protects its own. Any threat to Earth will be met with swift, calculated response. This is not a bluff. Gasps echoed throughout the chamber. Delegates leaned forward, scanning the holographic projections that Cross had activated moments ago. Images of Earth's orbital defense stations, satellites, and advanced warships shimmered in the air. They were not flashy, not aggressive, but precise, organized, and ready. A murmuring group of counselors whispered among themselves. They have weapons, yes, but it is more than that. It is their discipline. Their calm. They control the situation without firing a single shot. Varric's massive eyes narrowed. Humans are not afraid, he growled. They are predators in spirit. How can one species be so confident? So controlled? Cross stepped closer to the holograms. Your fleets may be larger. Your powers may be greater. But you do not understand humans. We survive where others fail. We dominate when others hesitate. We act decisively, calmly, and without error. You have seen us now. Decide wisely. The alien delegates began to panic. Some tried to form alliances among themselves, whispering urgently about countermeasures. Others froze in place, realizing that no plan could match human precision and control. A young alien counselor whispered to a neighboring delegate, "They do not even strike, yet we are trapped. Controlled. Observed. Their presence alone is more dangerous than fleets of warships." The older alien shook his head, eyes wide. "We misjudged them. Entirely. Humanity is not like any species we know. They are unstoppable if provoked." Cross's voice remained calm, carrying over the murmurs. "Understand this, Earth is ready. We do not seek war for glory. We seek survival. We do not strike without purpose. But any threat to our home will meet full human resolve." Varric banged his clawed fists in frustration. How can they speak this way? One species, one planet, they cannot challenge the Council. Cross's eyes locked on him. "We already have. And you have seen it." The delegates looked around at each other, whispers spreading quickly. Fear mixed with awe. Pride was replaced with doubt. The human envoy had shifted the balance of power in a single speech. Outside the chamber, holographic feeds of the event reached other galaxies. Aliens who had observed Earth from afar gasped. Even the most confident fleets paused. A single human had changed the perception of an entire species. Cross straightened, letting her calm authority fill the room. "The galaxy will learn this day," she said softly. "Humans survive. Humans dominate. And humanity does not bow to intimidation, threat, or ancient authority." The Council was silent now. Even Varric's deep, commanding voice had faltered. Aliens whispered anxiously, realizing that the humans before them were not ordinary diplomats. They were predators, strategists, and survivors beyond imagination. The human envoy turned and exited the podium, leaving the Council in stunned silence. No violence. No aggression. Yet the chamber felt heavier, tense, and aware that the galaxy had changed in that moment. Every delegate understood one terrifying truth. Humans were not to be underestimated. Humans were not to be challenged. And the council, and all who witnessed this, had just learned that Earth would no longer be ignored. The envoy had declared war. Not with weapons but with presence, calm authority and unshakable confidence. The galaxy had been shocked. The Galactic Council chamber was still buzzing with whispers and murmurs. Alien delegates shifted uneasily in their seats. Even the council president, Varric, a massive six-eyed alien with silver scales, looked unsettled. Humanity had declared war, not with weapons but with confidence and presence. And now the humans were about to show why their words were not empty. Commander Elena Cross activated a new holographic display above the podium. It illuminated the chamber with blue and white light, showing Earth's orbital defense stations, warships, drones and satellite arrays. Each system shimmered, highlighting precision, coordination and deadly efficiency. "This is not a threat," Cross said, her voice calm and steady. "This is a demonstration of capability. Any species or council that attacks Earth will face calculated response. Our fleets are ready. Our systems are advanced. Our strategy is unmatched." The aliens leaned forward, eyes widening at the scale of human preparation. They had seen fleets before, weapons before, entire civilizations mobilized, but nothing like this. Humans did not act recklessly or emotionally. They acted with precision, intelligence, and calm authority. A young alien delegate whispered, trembling, "They do not shout. They do not rage. Yet we are frozen, trapped by their presence." Cross stepped closer to the hologram, pointing at orbital stations and warships. "Every move is calculated. Every threat is anticipated. Humanity does not need to attack to dominate. Our presence, strategy, and coordination are enough to ensure our survival." The council members exchanged worried glances. They had always assumed that intimidation and numbers would be enough to control new civilizations. But humans were different. They projected power through calm observation and absolute confidence. Varric's deep voice rumbled through the chamber. "You speak of power, human. But your fleets are small compared to the council's combined forces. How can you hope to survive?" Cross smiled faintly. "It is not size that matters. It is skill. It is preparation. It is the will to survive. You underestimate humanity because you do not understand what it means to be human. We endure. We adapt. We dominate. And we protect our own." The room grew silent as she let the words sink in. Even the most confident counselors felt uneasy and cautious. Humanity was no ordinary species. They were predators in spirit, survivors hardened by a harsh world, capable of strategy, precision, and calm dominance. Cross activated another projection, holograms of coordinated warship formations, orbital defense drills, and strategic simulations. Each movement was exact, each formation flawless. The aliens could see the intelligence, the discipline, and the lethal potential. A feathered delegate whispered, eyes wide with awe and fear, "They do not threaten, yet we feel powerless. They are in control without a single attack." Humans did not shout, they did not demand attention. They simply stood tall, projected calm authority, and let the council witness their preparation. That alone was enough to change the room's atmosphere. Outside the chamber, reports of Earth's display spread quickly across the galaxy. Observers from other planets paused their routines. Some fleets hesitated, others debated how to respond. Humanity had shown the galaxy that it was a force to be reckoned with, without firing a single weapon. Varric slammed his clawed fists on the podium. "We underestimated them. Entirely. How can one species dominate so completely without aggression?" Cross's calm gaze met his. "You have seen our strength. You have seen our preparation. And now you understand that any threat to Earth will be met with precision, strategy, and absolute resolve. This is not negotiation. This is a fact. Decide wisely." The chamber fell into stunned silence. Alien delegates whispered nervously. Some began to doubt their own strategies. Some realized they might have to reconsider the balance of power in the galaxy. Humanity had done more than declare war. They had established dominance, commanded respect, and projected a level of control that froze the council in fear. Cross turned from the podium, letting her calm authority linger in the chamber. The delegates, once confident, now whispered among themselves. They had misjudged humans. They had assumed fear, hesitation, and weakness, but found calm, strategy, and lethal potential instead. The envoy had not only declared war. She had shown the galaxy why humans should never be underestimated. And for the first time, every delegate understood the terrifying truth. Humans were not just another species in the galaxy, they were Deathworlders in spirit, precise, unstoppable, and in control. The council had felt human authority. and the galaxy would never forget it. The Galactic Council chamber was in chaos. Alien delegates whispered urgently, some pacing, others banging their claws or tentacles against consoles. The human envoy had declared war, and now they had displayed the full extent of humanity's strength. The council had not been ready for this. Commander Elena Cross stood at the podium, calm and composed. She did not raise her voice. She did not shout. Her presence alone dominated the room. Every alien delegate could feel it. Humans were not just declaring war, they were projecting absolute authority. Varric, the council president, tried to regain control. "You dare speak this way, human?" he growled. "You threaten the council. You cannot know the consequences." Cross's gaze did not waver. "We know exactly what we are doing. Humanity protects its own. Any threat to Earth will meet calculated, precise response. We do not act recklessly. We do not act without reason. But we do act. Always." The chamber trembled with whispers. Some delegates argued among themselves. Others froze in place, unsure what to do. For the first time in centuries, the council was unprepared, uncertain, and afraid. One alien diplomat whispered to another, voice shaking, "They do not even attack, yet we are paralyzed. We cannot move without their notice. They see everything. Predict everything." "Yes," the neighbor replied, fear in their voice. "This is not war as we know it. It is control. Calm, quiet, unstoppable control." Cross activated another holographic display, showing Earth's warships moving in perfect formation, orbital defenses activating, and drones scanning every sector of space around the planet. The images were not aggressive, they were precise, calculated, and unmistakably lethal. A smaller counselor, trembling, whispered, "They are not bluffing. They are ready. They have thought of everything." Outside the chamber, allied species intercepted reports of the human envoy's declaration and display of strength. Fleets froze mid-orbit. Trade negotiations halted. Even rival species debated in fear whether they could ever challenge humanity. The news traveled faster than any fleet could move. Earth was not to be underestimated. Back inside, the council tried to strategize. "We must form an alliance against them," one large alien suggested, claws tapping nervously. "Alone we cannot fight humans. They are too precise, too coordinated." Varric's 6 eyes narrowed. "Perhaps, but even an alliance might not be enough. Humans dominate without even firing a shot. Their calm is more dangerous than weapons." Cross's voice cut through the murmurs. "Understand this, Earth does not seek conquest. Earth does not seek glory. But Earth will survive at any cost. We act with intelligence, strategy, and precision. You have seen it. Choose wisely." The room was silent again. Even the loudest, most confident delegates could not speak. Humanity had declared war, displayed dominance, and instilled fear, all without a single attack. A young alien leaned to an older one and whispered, "We have misjudged them. Entirely. Humanity is not a species to challenge lightly. Not even the council can control them." The older alien nodded, voice barely audible. "We thought strength was in fleets, weapons, and numbers. But humans survive through control, precision, and calm authority. That is their true power." Cross stepped back, letting her calm presence linger over the room. The council could feel it. The humans had shifted the balance of power in the galaxy. The delegates who once held confidence now whispered anxiously, debating survival rather than strategy. Even Varric could not hide the change in the room. For the first time, he understood that humanity was unlike any other species the council had faced. They were strategic, deadly, and unstoppable if provoked. The human envoy had not fired a single weapon. She had not threatened with action. And yet the council, and the galaxy, knew the truth. Humans were a force to respect, or fear. And in that knowledge the galaxy changed forever. The envoy had spoken, demonstrated, and dominated without aggression. And the council, and every species watching, would never underestimate humanity again. The Galactic Council chamber was heavy with tension. Alien delegates whispered among themselves, still shaken by the human envoy's calm authority and strategic display of power. Commander Elena Cross stood at the podium, her posture steady, her eyes scanning the room. She did not shout, she did not threaten. Humanity's strength was silent, precise, and undeniable. Varric, the council president, cleared his throat. "Human, your words and actions are bold, perhaps too bold. The council has never faced a species like yours. You claim strength, precision, and readiness. Do you truly expect us to accept this?" Cross nodded calmly. "I do not ask for your acceptance. I state a fact. Earth will defend itself. Any threat to our planet will be met with calculated, unstoppable response. We do not seek war for glory but for survival. You have seen our capabilities. You have seen our strategy. The choice is yours. The alien delegates exchanged nervous glances. Some whispered urgently to form alliances, others froze in indecision. For the first time in history, the Council did not feel in control. Humanity had seized the balance of power with calm confidence, and the galaxy was watching. A young alien diplomat whispered to a neighboring delegate, voice trembling, "They do not raise weapons. They do not shout. Yet they dominate completely. How can one species project so much authority without aggression?" The neighbor shook their head. It is not aggression. It is strategy, calm, and intelligence. They control the situation without firing a shot. That is what makes them dangerous. Cross activated another holographic projection, showing coordinated Earth warships, orbital defense stations, and advanced satellites. Each movement was precise, calculated, and flawless. The aliens could see humanity's readiness. Every planet in the Council realized the truth. Earth could not be challenged lightly. Varric's 6 eyes narrowed. You have shown strength, but humans are still one species. Our combined fleets could still overwhelm Earth if we act together. Cross's gaze did not waver. Perhaps. But consider this, humans survive where others fail. Humans dominate situations others misjudge. Humans anticipate, adapt, and act decisively. Any fleet attempting to challenge Earth will find itself outmaneuvered, outplanned, and defeated. You have seen our approach. This is not bluff. This is reality. A murmur ran through the chamber. Delegates realized the truth. They were not facing ordinary humans. These were Deathworlders, hardened by survival, experts in strategy, and unstoppable when defending their home. Outside the chamber, allied species intercepted reports. Fleets paused mid-orbit. Governments halted operations. The galaxy watched as Earth asserted its authority without firing a single shot. Humans were not just defenders, they were galactic strategists, commanding respect through intellect and preparation. Inside, the Council began to reconsider. Some suggested forming alliances, others proposed caution, but the fear was clear. Humanity was no longer negotiable. They had declared war in words, demonstrated power in actions, and established dominance without aggression. Cross lowered her gaze slightly, letting silence fill the chamber. Every delegate could feel it. The humans had shifted the balance of power. No species, not even the Council itself, could challenge Earth without consequences. Varric finally spoke, voice low and wary. Perhaps, we must reconsider our approach. Humanity has shown its strength. They are not a threat to be negotiated, they are a force to respect. Cross straightened. That is wise. Earth seeks no conquest, only survival. But remember this, any attempt to threaten us will meet the full measure of human resolve. You have seen it. Choose wisely. The chamber was silent. Aliens whispered nervously, realizing that the balance of power in the galaxy had changed. Humans had not fired a weapon. They had not struck fear with aggression. Yet the Council and all who observed knew humanity was unstoppable if provoked. Cross turned and exited the podium, leaving the Council to absorb the reality. Delegates whispered anxiously, debating survival rather than negotiation. Every species watching understood the same truth. Humans survive. Humans dominate. Humans decide the terms of engagement. And the galaxy would never forget this day. The Envoy had consolidated authority, reshaped galactic politics, and established humanity as a force beyond intimidation. The Council and every alien species had learned one immutable lesson. Earth is not to be challenged. Humanity is not to be underestimated. The galaxy had changed. And humans had shown, calmly and decisively, who truly controlled their destiny. The Galactic Council chamber was quiet, almost stunned. Alien delegates sat frozen, whispering nervously among themselves. Humanity had declared war, not with weapons but with calm authority and undeniable presence. The humans had shown strength, strategy, and preparation that left the Council uncertain, fearful, and respectful. Commander Elena Cross stood at the edge of the chamber, her posture calm, her eyes scanning the stunned delegates. She did not need to shout or threaten. Her presence alone had conveyed what no words could fully capture. Humans survive. Humans dominate. Humans are unstoppable if provoked. Varric, the Council President, leaned forward, 6 eyes narrowing. They have changed the rules, he murmured. They did not attack, yet they dominate. How can one species have so much authority, so much control, without firing a weapon? A younger delegate whispered, "They are not gods, but they act as if they are. Every movement is calculated. Every choice precise. They dominate by will alone." Cross activated one final holographic display. It showed Earth's fleets in formation, orbital defenses aligned, satellites scanning every sector, and simulations of strategic maneuvers across the galaxy. The images shimmered with precision, showing humans as planners, strategists, and deathworlders in spirit, ready for anything, afraid of nothing. The chamber was silent, the whispers fading to awe. Alien delegates realized they were witnessing something extraordinary, a species that could control, command, and dominate without aggression. Humanity had shifted the balance of power in a single visit. Outside the chamber, news of Earth's demonstration spread across the galaxy. Fleets paused mid-orbit. Planets reconsidered alliances. Trade negotiations halted. Every species that observed the event understood the same truth. Humans were not to be challenged lightly. Even the Galactic Council began to reconsider its authority. For centuries they had believed they held power over all species. Now they realized one simple fact: humans do not bow to authority, they establish it. Cross spoke once more, her voice calm but resonant. "Understand this, Earth seeks no war for glory. Earth seeks survival. We do not strike without reason. But any threat to our planet will meet the full measure of human resolve. You have seen it. Decide wisely." The delegates whispered urgently, debating the future. Some considered forming alliances to challenge humans, but all knew the truth. Earth was no ordinary planet and humans were no ordinary species. Varric, still shaken, muttered, "We underestimated them. Entirely. Never again will any species assume humanity is weak, fearful, or submissive." Cross turned and left the podium, her calm authority lingering like a shadow over the chamber. The aliens were left to absorb what they had witnessed. Humans had declared war without aggression, established dominance without violence, and left an impression that would reverberate across the galaxy for generations. The council members whispered among themselves, fear and respect intertwining. News feeds across star systems would soon recount the event. A species from a small blue planet had stood alone, spoken boldly, demonstrated lethal precision, and forced the galaxy to respect their authority. Even the most powerful fleets paused. Even rival species reconsidered strategies. Humanity had shown that strength was not in numbers, weapons, or intimidation alone. Strength was in calm authority, precise strategy, and unwavering resolve. Commander Cross returned to Earth, her mission complete. Humanity had not sought conquest. Humanity had not sought glory. But humanity had established its place in the galaxy as a force to be reckoned with. The stars themselves seemed to acknowledge it. Every species that observed the council knew a new legend had begun. The humans of Earth are survivors. They are deathworlders in spirit. They are strategic, precise, and unstoppable. They will defend their home at any cost. The envoy had spoken, demonstrated, and dominated without